Hello everybody, my name is Myra and you're welcome to my channel. So today is a little bit different because I've been trying a bajillion angles around my room, and this one time I was like, you know what, I have a tripod, I have a camera, so I'm gonna do it standing up. And I did, and it feels really nice.
Because I get to like walk, and I get to jump, and I get to like turn around if I want to, and I get to do stuff.
And so it's pretty cool, I'm excited. Can you tell? So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events series that's happening on Netflix like right now. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about that and also about the book series because I never read it as a kid. What? As a kid, I never read them. I don't know why. I think I was just not exposed to them, so I never read them, and by the time I knew about them, I was kind of older and I didn't really feel like reading them. But I did see the movie with Jim Carrey, which I hear was a catastrophe, and I can't tell if it was or not yet at least. So anyway, I decided to actually pick up the books and read them, and I read the first 4 books. Actually, I audiobooked them just to clarify things, and I gotta say they are pretty brilliant. As an adult, I think my experience on these books was a lot different than it was for a lot of people that read them as kids. I saw a lot of things very differently, which kind of like creeped me out and scared me and concerned me, but as an adult now, things I wouldn't have as a child. So again, I read the first 4 books, which were The Bad Beginning, The Reptile Room, The Big Window, and The Miserable Mill. So as you guys probably already know, and if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you because this stuff has been around since forever, and I knew about this stuff even though I didn't even read the books. The first book, The Bad Beginning, starts off with the orphans becoming orphans because their parents died in a fire in that first book, and then they go off to live with Count Olaf, which turns out to be the villain of this whole series thing, and he makes their life miserable, and his final goal is to attain their money, their inheritance that they are getting from their parents, but they can't make use of it until Violet, who is the oldest one, who is 14 years old, becomes of age, and so they still have to wait a couple more years until they can actually use this money. In the meantime, Count Olaf wants to get their money for his own evil use, and he's also a terrible actor. At the end of this first book, they discover that he is this evil guy that's just trying to get the children into trouble and trying to harm them, and so he is on the run from the authorities, and the children are left to another family member who is Uncle Marty. No, wait, Monty, sorry, Monty. He is this scientist kind of guy who studies reptiles and snakes and this kind of stuff, and so he's actually a really cool guy, but you know, bad stuff happens, hence a series of unfortunate events, because it's a series of very unfortunate events. And they end up moving to Aunt Josephine's house in the 3rd book, where tragedy strikes yet once more, and then from there they end up moving to the Miserable Mill, where they are living with this guy whose name we never really know because it's supposed to be too hard for us to understand, and it bothers me that they never actually said his name, but he goes by Sir, so everybody just calls him Sir, and he's this really unfair guy that I really don't like. Throughout these 4 books, as far as I've read, Count Olaf keeps appearing, disguising himself as different things in order to get close to children, in order to harm them or to make this big plot to get their money. So as an adult reading these books, I feel it's very different than if I did as a child, because I know that if I had read these books as a child, I would have just been overwhelmingly excited and impressed by these children because they're so smart and they're so brave, and they come up with all this awesome stuff like in their head, and they read like crazy, and they're smart, and even the little kid, the little baby, she's so adorable and she bites into everything and it's just adorable. I think that would have been the focus of my attention, the children, that they are so awesome and me wanting to aspire to be as smart as they are. But as an adult, I look at things very differently. It bothers me so much the adults on all these books are so stupid. They are so dumb. It's just so and it enrages me because these children are in trouble and they are being abused by Count Olaf, and nobody believes him. They always find out who he is before anybody else does, and they try to warn the people around them.
This is Count Olaf, people. This is Count Olaf.
And their adult people within their realm of connections are like,
haha, you're just a kid, you're crazy, and you don't know anything.
And they're like,
but look at his tattoo. Look at his one eyebrow. Look at the way that he looks at us.
and nobody believes them, and then people die. I look at that aspect and I am more concerned about the welfare of the children even though they're not real children, but just their situation is just awful, and I look at it and it makes me really angry that nobody helps them. Nobody really does anything to help their situation, and it's just upsetting, and it makes me mad and it makes me angry. And Count Olaf, he's not just evil and mean, he's also pervy. As I was listening to the narrative and there were some stuff that he would say that I was like, Violet, you better get out of that room right now. Don't just walk away to sleep right now, lock your door. Even though this is a children's series and I'm reading it as an adult, I've been enjoying it so much. I think it's such a fun series, and I do wish I would have read it as a child. I think it would have helped me and I would have really liked it, but I didn't, so hey, here we are 25 years later. After listening to the first 4 books, I decided it was time to watch the series, and I watched the first 2 episodes, which covers the first book, A Bad Beginning, in the book series, and I am thoroughly satisfied. It's actually super faithful to the book narrative, and I find that to be so impressive. They captured Count Olaf's character so well, and the children's characters are awesome. Violet, Sunny, Claus, amazing work, you guys. So I can't really say much about the whole series because again, I've only watched the first 2 episodes, aka the first book, so I can only say that it has, here's the thing. The books gave me a sense of helplessness and that I saw no end to this children's misfortune. However, I do find that in the series, although it is extremely faithful to the book, it does give a more hopeful air than the book series. At least the first book, I felt so hopeless for the children and I was just miserable for them. And I felt like in the series, there were actually people rooting for these orphans and wanting them to be okay, and there were things happening in the background of the story that made me feel like these children are gonna be okay. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Netflix. Anyway, those are my thoughts so far. I do plan on finishing the book series. I think there's like 13 total, so I will finish the whole thing and maybe I'll do another like what did I think of the series as a whole, and I'll definitely finish the Netflix series. It's really good. If you haven't watched it, I totally absolutely recommend it. It's great, it's brilliant, and it's really well acted. There's a lot of talent within the whole, you know, set of characters, and it's pretty amazing. Thank you, Netflix, for good quality television. Anyway, if you haven't watched it, please go ahead and do so, and if you have watched it, tell me what you think. So anyway, yeah, leave comments down below if you have watched it, if you haven't watched it, if you've read the books. If you haven't read the books, just, you know, leave the stuff down there. If you've watched the Jim Carrey version movie thing that happened 10 years ago. Was it 10 years ago? Man, I feel old. Anyway, leave all the good stuff down below and just let me know what you think and your thoughts and opinions, and I would love to hear them and have a conversation with you about it. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more of these videos. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.